You always want to say, play for an audience of one and play only for God. And, you really want to do that. He's blessed you with all these talents and abilities, and every time I step on the field, I want to, just go out there and glorify, him with all the talents that he's given me.
To my audience of one, you are Father and you are Son. As your spirit flows.
I definitely still compete for my family because soccer has always been something that my family has done together.
And I also play for my family.
The people I compete most for are my teammates, just because obviously when you're on a team you form a really close-knit bond.
Of course, being on a team, I love competing for my teammates, and I think that we're all a better team when we want to compete for each other.
I play for God, first and foremost, and then I also play for my family. And I feel like when you just play for those two things, you really can't go wrong.
In the past, I would compete for myself, and it was kind of selfishly driven. But as I learned more about Christianity and faith, I just learned to no matter what happens in the outcome of the game, I just learned to just put my faith in Christ and and compete in His name.
Who I compete for has definitely changed over the years. I didn't always compete for God, I just didn't always think that I really needed God in my sport. So now I'd say most of the time I'm competing for God because I realize that I can't do my sport on my own, and that God has given me that.
I don't really have a lot of stress from the outside to do well. It's probably more internal stress that I kind of have to deal with, but other than, I guess if I were to get stressed from the outside, it would be more from my coaches than anyone else.
The only place I think I would feel stress is for my teammates because I don't want to let them down. And I know that when I'm not doing my best and it's hurting my team, then of course I feel badly. But not for my family or for God. I know that they don't see my identity as being how well I do in my sport.
Before we step out on the field as an entire team, we say a prayer, and I always like to say something in that prayer. I just it gets a lot of things off my chest, and I feel like it really prepares me to go out there and play to the best of my ability.
I try to find a time to pray before every single game. I like to pray also when I approach the arena, just to say, wow, I'm really a part of this, and it's just such a great blessing.
I definitely think it's possible to bring God into a competition.
In life, God uses certain things to get your attention.
A lot of times, and especially at practice, I'll often pray. Specifically, when I have a really good workout, I'll be thanks for that.
I've seen, just certain things come up through sports that I've learned in my everyday life, and one of those things is that just to be more selfless.
Or even when I have a hard practice and what's up with that? Why? But most of the time, actually, when I compete, I do think about God and kind of how He's gotten me here. And I guess swimming is a good way to sort of glorify Him and thank Him for giving me talents that I don't always appreciate because it's hard.
I compete for God by recognizing that He's given me the ability to play soccer.
I definitely feel like, God puts you on a stage where you can glorify Him. He gives us all these talents and abilities, and they're unique to every person. And I feel like, once you find your talent and your ability and how you could use it, you just go out there and you give Him the glory.
It's not like God doesn't care about my sport, which I think a lot of people think, oh, God couldn't care about something that's pretty trivial. But He definitely does, and I think it's possible to compete for Him. And I know that for me, I'm better in my sport when I invite Him into it.